If I was hired to set up a signal-based outbound framework for a B2B tech company in MENA, here's what I would do. Let's say I already built the ICP account list, so I have one clay table with my target accounts. I would build a system around 3 tiers, broken down into 6 archetypes. Step 1, I would build 3 signal tiers inside clay. Tier 1 is my build tier, or my build signals, which means that they are investing. So these are money plus people signals that prove that my prospects are actively building towards something. For instance, they have job openings for relevant decision maker roles, or they recently hired relevant decision makers, or they partnered recently, or there's new tech detected, or they've announced recently a relevant initiative, or there's team headcount growth. All right, tier 2, these are forcing functions. In other words, timing shock. So these are external events that create urgency. For instance, one of the prospects have gone through a merger and acquisition, or an IPO, or financing round, or office expansion, or signing a new client. Tier 3 are confirmation signals. These are intent validation signals. It means that engagement validates that now is the right time. And I would break this down into 3 subtypes. Attention, a prospect visiting your website, or engaging with your content on LinkedIn, or visiting your LinkedIn profile. The second is problem, so they attending an event, or appearing on a podcast, or posting about their pain. And finally, ownership, so this is someone changing their job, joining a new company. All of these signals can be tracked inside Clay. Step 2, I would stack these signals into 6 reach out now archetypes, because the real question isn't did something happen, but it's rather is it the right time to reach out now. So here are 6 archetypes that I would implement as separate tables inside Clay. Archetype A, this is my build plus confirm. So this is a tier 1 signal plus tier 3 attention signal, right? So this means that they are building and you see their attention. For instance, one of your target accounts posted 3 SDR roles, plus someone from their team visits the pricing page on the website. Why this matters? Because execution is happening and they're also sniffing my client's solutions. Archetype B is force plus build. So that's a tier 2 signal plus tier 1 signal, right? So a forcing function hits and they respond by building towards it. For instance, a prospect has gone through their Series B, or they announced their Series B, plus they have 5 engineering roles open. Why this matters? Because it shows there are new constraints, plus there's new capacity, which means that their buying cycles are going to be faster now. Archetype C, that's a problem plus build. So here we have a tier 3 problem signal plus tier 1. Essentially, the pain is explicit and they're also resourcing for it. Example, a VP posts about data quality pain, plus they're hiring for a data engineer. Why this matters? Because the why now is already almost written for you. They're explicit about their pain through their LinkedIn post, and they're building towards it. Archetype D, it's a new leader reset, right? So here we have a tier 3 ownership signal, plus one of either tier 1 or tier 2 signals. So we have a new executive that's entering a new company, and there's also some motion that's happening. So for instance, a new CRO joins from a company that used your product in the past, plus they announce a relative initiative at that new company that they joined. Why this matters? Because leadership transitions create permission to change vendors and process, typically in the first 20 days. Archetype E, that's a double build. So here we have 2 signals from tier 1, 2 independent build signals confirming seriousness. For instance, 4 DevOps roles are open, plus they have a cloud migration initiative that launched recently. Why this matters? Because it's not an experiment, it's an actual program that they're working towards. And then the final archetype, multi-actor proof. So that would be a signal coming from 2 plus individuals from the same company. So that would be tier 3 signals coming from more than 1 individual at the company, plus a signal from tier 1 or 2. Right, so this means that there's a buying group that is moving, not just one person within that company. For instance, 2 VPs plus a director attended a relevant conference, plus also there are 3 relevant recent hires. The reason why this matters is because it shows internal alignment that is forming, which obviously is rare and quite valuable. Alright, so now that I have my 6 archetypes set up inside Clay as separate tables, step 3 is to turn these archetypes into outbound lanes, again still in Clay. Right, so for each archetype I would define what gets said, so what is the angle, what gets shown, what is the proof, and what is the CTA, so what is the next step. Because the mistake most teams make is the same message going out for every signal. Obviously this is how you waste signals. Step 4, I would run the system like ops, right? So we're not doing this based on vibes, but we have an ops system. So I would rerun these signals periodically inside Clay, for instance, monthly or bi-weekly, depending on the signal. Secondly, I would send prospects into archetypes automatically once they trigger the right combination of signals. And I would only trigger outreach when an archetype threshold is hit. I keep one rule. If a lead doesn't have an archetype, plus a reason, plus a timestamp, it doesn't get touched. That's how you avoid random acts of outbound. That's it. I'm no longer doing outreach. I'm intercepting accounts at the exact moment they're most likely to buy with messaging that matches the moment. So my outbound stops being a volume game and becomes a timing plus relevance game, which is basically the only game that still works in MENA.